All right, this is breaking this hour. Terror threats against the United States reach an all-time high since the terror attack by Hamas terrorists against Israel on October 7th. A warning now from the FBI Director Christopher Wray just a short time ago in a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing.
What I would say that is unique about the environment that we're in right now in my career is that while there may have been times over the years where individual threats could have been higher here or there than where they might be right now, I've never seen a time where all the threats, or so many of the threats, are all elevated all at exactly the same time. That's what makes this environment that we're in now so fraught, and why funding our men and women who are working shoulder to shoulder with state and local law enforcement and other partners every day makes it even more important, not less.
So, blinking red lights analogy about 9/11, all the lights were blinking red before 9/11. Apparently, obviously, all of us missed it. Would you say that there's multiple blinking red lights out there?
I see blinking lights everywhere I turn.
Okay, all right. Can't say any better than that.
Blinking lights everywhere he turns for trouble, a heightened level like we have never seen. You have worked inside the White House, formerly with President Trump. You know what should be happening next in all of this. Give us a picture when you get that message from inside the White House.
Well, one of the things I would do, the very first thing I would do, was I'd be creating a whole page in my binder calling the FBI director, calling all of those around him, his comms team, and making sure that you communicate this to the American people. And we just heard Wray do that. But we should be hearing about this from the White House podium, because with a lot of these things, it's see something, say something. And a lone wolf terrorist can cause a lot of destruction. We saw this just before Trump took over. There was that lone wolf terrorist attack on the gay community at Pulse nightclub, 49 killed, 50 wounded. It was an attack on the gay community. It was a terrorist attack. He was watching jihadist films. And that's what one person has the ability to do. That was the deadliest terrorist attack after 9/11 up until that point. Just underscoring one point, Carrie Kupek, former colleague of mine in the Trump administration who was at DOJ, who worked with Wray hand in hand, he is not prone to dramatic talk. In fact, the opposite. So if he is underscoring something, it is a real threat. So if he is saying this, he's seeing something.
Oh, Kevin.
Well, and to Kayleigh's point, I think, you know, in the wake of 9/11, it was a wake-up call for all of us to stay vigilant, that it's American security relies on all of us to see something, say something. It's not just the 38,000 men and women that make up the FBI that can disrupt these kind of attacks or potential attacks, but to Kayleigh's point again, there were people that knew that terrorist in Florida beforehand, what he was doing, how he was being radicalized, and we need the good Samaritans, the citizens of this country, to come forward and talk to law enforcement when it involves a family member or a friend that is going down this road. Because after October 7th, to your point, we're likely to see more of those copycat kind of attacks because they inspire people.
Look, I mean, the head of the FBI just told us that he sees red flashing lights about those types of situations all around. When asked, well, do you see one in the, in the vicinity? We are still watching that live on Capitol Hill. You'll see it on the left side of your screen. Our team is monitoring this, and we will go to it live should the topic require that right now. And that's what we did just moments ago. We wanted to give you an update on just how dire the situation is. So, Emily, you know, there's only so much that we can do because we don't get those national advisory reports that the president does.
Right. And I think what this underscores as well is that the constellation of vulnerability is quite broader than when you look at it in silos of, okay, what's happening on 6th Avenue, what's happening on the street, who might be plotting something in their garage. Meaning specifically that the vulnerability of the southern border and the fact that how closely that ties in with our weaknesses and our open doors is quite real. We know that in the month of October, after the terrorist attacks against Israel, we had 4 Iranians coming across the border. They're considered special interest aliens because the United States considers Iran a state sponsor of terror. We've seen more Chinese illegal immigrants flowing over the southern border this fiscal year alone than we did in the 10 years prior. And the numbers have skyrocketed from countries where we have plainly and globally stated we have suspicions about motives for coming here illegally. So when you dovetail that in with this blinking light comments by Director Wray, I can't help but hope that Congress, and Lou as well, or in light of the fact that just 2 months ago they said in their report, clearly there are no laws being enforced at the southern border, that someone will band together to protect us, to cite, at least to acknowledge those vulnerabilities at the southern border that can create and magnify this blinking light scenario.
So is there something very urgent that the president could be doing right now is my question, because we saw earlier that number burst to 10,000 in a 24 to 30 hour period coming across. The Tucson sector is overrun, like they can't handle what they have. So, because they have to process illegals coming across. So they've already broken our law. Doesn't that give the president something to work with? They're already criminals.
Yeah, I mean, they as quickly as possible, as Emily pointed out, need to change their border policy. I mean, I think, they're having these debates in Congress right now in the Senate over border funding, Ukraine funding, Israel funding, and you really can't get the Democrats to move or change policy on it. God forbid, you wonder if it's going to take a terrorist attack from someone coming over the border before they actually finally realize that their policy is incredibly dangerous to American national security. I would also remind everybody that this is not the first time the FBI director has testified to these threats. He's been saying this for months now, and I would encourage the FBI director to repurpose the people that are going to PTA meetings and going to Catholic church meetings and actually maybe repurpose those agents to look at American national security. Finally, we've had at least 74 attacks against American troops, plus ballistic missiles shot at U.S. Navy ships over the weekend. The attacks against the American homeland and against our troops overseas are not something that are to be talked about in the future. They are happening now.
Yeah, and look, we just saw a country, we are supporting a nation of Israel that had a border attack.
Right.
I mean, they came across that border and they killed, they raped, they pillaged. I mean, it's medieval what they have done and continue to do to hold hostages.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.